what's up? It's Danielle. So for today's video, I wanted to take you through my pocket-sized and my A5 Filofaxes, just so you can kind of see how I've updated them and anything like that. So to start off with, I have actually been leaving this, unbuttoned just because the pen that I have in here is actually pretty big and it can't fit, in the little button with the pen in there. So this is actually a Bic Atlantis. It's the Ultra Comfort and it's in the 0.7. So I really love these. One of my friends actually convinced me to buy this just because it's so squishy. So this is really what I prefer to use if I'm on the go, just because ballpoint doesn't smear and you can write on more surfaces with it than you can with like a gel. So most of the time, you guys know I absolutely love my Pilot Dr. Grip gel, but obviously I don't want to lose this. So that's kind of why I tend to leave it at home. So there's that. All right. I do have a planner charm on here. If you guys remember, once upon a time, I was absolutely into planner charms, and I had like this giant thing hanging off of my planner. I took that off and it's stayed off, but all I've done here is I've just taken some pink ribbon that I got from Joann's a while back, and I just put this little star on there just because I thought it was cute, it's a little something. It's not a lot, but it's a little something. And I just think it's so adorable. All right. The inside is, well, this part is essentially the same. I just have some Post-its over here that are like the full adhesive. I don't have anything in the pocket right here, like the secretarial pocket, and I don't like to keep anything in this one. This is actually a dashboard that I made. I'm pretty sure I've shown this to you guys at some point this month, because maybe I didn't, but I think it was in a Crafty Thursday video that I shared this. But I really love it. It's just these really pretty blue mosaic tiles. Makes me think of like the ocean and the beach and like a pool, and it's just very summery in my opinion, and I love it. So normally what I would have behind this is actually a page that has my first and last name, and then my phone number and my email address, all of which I've taken out for obvious reasons. Also, what I like to do is, when I mentioned this in my video that's called How I Use My Pocket Filofax, and what I like to do is I'll actually take my grocery list and I'll put it right here in the front. So then that way I don't have to keep flipping through, because this doesn't exactly lie flat. So it's just so much easier to kind of have it front and center, and that way I can still cross things out, and yeah, you get the idea. So that is basically what I did. Also, for a little while I was doing this, which basically was kind of a spending tracker, if you will, because I've been having a lot of issues with using my spending tracker that I have in my A5. So I figured, since this Filofax is with me at all times, I could at least document it. But apparently my brain is like, nope, don't care. So I did have this in here for a little bit of time, thinking I would use it, but I ended up taking it out. So there's that. I also took out one section in here, which I will get to, but the first section is still the same. This is just my quarterly section. I did take out those stickers that I had down here that were labels, because I didn't like the way that it looked. It made it look a little bit more sloppy, and there was already, I feel like there's already so much going on in here that I don't want to kind of have my attention taken away from what really matters. So this is actually my quarterly section, and I have August and September in here because I took out July. So there's that. It's literally just for the sake of reference. I know I say that a lot, but for me, the more points of reference that I have, the more comfortable I feel. All right, the next section is still monthly. I still have a post-it reminding me of when I have my next appointment with my doctor. You guys have seen this, and if you watched my previous video, the one that I literally just posted on Wednesday of this week, then this should look extremely familiar to you. This is just my at a glance calendar for the month of September, since we're going into August. And this is what the month of August looks like for me. So you can kind of see on both sides. And I still have that center page. So this hasn't changed at all. I still absolutely am loving this. And if you want to see that in more detail, then go and watch my monthly Plan With Me video. It's all in there. And then this is my weekly, and I did put in the little Filofax ruler just so that it's a little bit easier for me to find my spot. Although I have to admit, a majority of the time I don't even pay attention because I'm always using the tabs. But this is still what my monthly pages look like. It's just a simple rundown. You know, it starts on Monday, goes to Sunday. You guys have seen this before, especially if you watch my Plan With Me videos. All right, this is where things sort of start to change, because I used to have a section back here that was for like notes, or not notes, but it was like for school stuff, because I was kind of under the impression that I was gonna go to law school. I don't necessarily know if that's still gonna be a thing, so I just decided to take that out altogether, and I'm going to devote a part in my planner to that when it comes to it, if that makes any sense. So this is just my notes, brain dump, project, and project breakdown. Right here I have a list of all of the fruits and veggies that you can eat that you will not gain weight from. So you can eat as much of these as you want and you won't gain any weight. So this is perfect, because sometimes when I'm in the grocery store, I feel kind of stuck, especially because I tend to buy the same things week after week, and it kind of gets tiring a little bit. So I can just look on here really quickly, and then I can just pick whatever I want. So there's that. And also eggs are on here. So it's not just, you know, fruits and vegetables, but for the most part it is. Right here, these are just some things that I wanted to look up at a later time, or that I wanted to make sure kind of, you know, stay in my head, if you will, just because I'm looking into things with them. So that's all that's on there. This page right here actually has to do with me getting my prescriptions, so can't show you that. And then right here I have my annual to-do list, which is broken up by month. So I love this because if I'm on the go and I, you know, am kind of thinking, what else do I need to do this month? I can just look on here, and then I can make a note to myself that it needs to happen. I also have my AN to-do list, which is as needed. So these aren't things that need to get done all the time, or every week, or every day, or every month, but they do need to get done eventually. It just kind of is, you know, depends on other things. Like if I clean the microwave, it's going to depend on how often it gets used. I'm hardly ever at home anymore because I'm working, so I don't really have to clean it as often. You get what I'm saying? So I did a whole video on my to-do lists, so if you're interested, you can go look that up as well. I also have my monthly to-do list in here, and my weekly just in case, which is technically a floating to-do list, which again I explain in that video. And then this last section is actually for the weekly shop, or it's for, you know, grocery shopping, whatever you want to call it. But I made a list right here of things that I tend to buy most often. So that involves fruit, vegetables, meat, and then dairy products, miscellaneous, which is just like eggs, and then snacks. And that's really just so that, you know, I can kind of base my list off of that, and just in case I forget anything, it's all right here. And I kind of really am just curious to see what I buy most often. And then I have a couple of blank pages, and that is literally it for the pocket size. So now I'm going to take you guys through the A5. Okay guys, so here is my A5, which you've all seen before. By the way, just to kind of recap in case you're new here, I have my pocket size and my A5 both in the Saffiano. So just in case you're wondering. But this is what the A5 looks like right now. I have one of my old dashboards in here. If you guys have been with me since the days before I had my Filofax, then this should look kind of familiar to you, because I went really crazy earlier this year and I made a ton of different dashboards, you know, ones for like holidays and birthday and all that kind of jazz. And this is honestly just one of those kind of miscellaneous ones that I absolutely love. It's all in Spanish, and it shows people in like the late 1800s, you know, kind of that era, but I really like it. I feel like it's very me. I made this little flower paperclip right here. Yes, you heard me correctly. I did make this. That's why it doesn't look perfect, but I like the contrast of the yellow and the orange against the blue, because a lot of the stuff I have that's planner related is actually blue. And then I have my favorite sticky notes from the Target Dollar Spot. These are just the gold dots. I do not have much in this pocket. You guys have seen this all before. It's literally just a list of birthdays right here so that I know when to send out birthday cards or gifts. And I also have my thing of stamps in here as well, so that I always know where they are, because everything in my house gets lost apparently. All right, now, as usual, I have taken out anything that is like personal information. So also, I will not be showing you the very first section because that is dedicated solely to my channel, and nobody else is allowed to see that except me. So we're going to jump straight to the second. Actually, we're going to take a second before we do that, because there's two Post-its actually that I forgot to take out. Okay, now we're good. So this is my notes, brain dump, project, and project breakdown section. Again, a lot of this is going to be essentially the same as last month with a couple of minor changes. I do still have this fly leaf in here, which literally I just laminated some plastic, you know, whatever. It's just the laminating plastic, and I didn't put any paper in there. So that's literally all it is. Cut it down to size, punched it, and here we are. So this is kind of where I like to keep Post-its, you know, just for future reference. Like I have when the next season of chewing gum comes out. I still have the Cindy Powerfully, whatever, Ram Dump in here that actually Miss Trenchcoat originally introduced me to. So I still love this. I still use it. It's amazing. And let me see. I still have my brain dump back here. Obviously, you can see I have been crossing more things out. So eventually I do get to these things. It just takes a little while. And then you guys know I love my movies. So I still have my list. Basically just waiting for September because that's when the remake of It comes out, and I'm so excited. Funny thing is, I hate clowns, but I absolutely love It by Stephen King. It's really, really good. And then I still have this is just a note page, but I put the 2 sizes of paper for the A5 and the pocket size, just so that I don't forget. I've really kind of just gone my own way with that. I really ignore these, but I like to just have it in here just in case I need to refer back to it. It's always nice to have, and then that way I don't have to keep looking it up. I have also been filling out my when did I last page. I really, really love this. I don't know why I haven't been doing it for years at this point, but really, really love this. And I've actually gotten quite a bit done in the month of August. So basically anything new that needs to go on here, obviously I'm going to put on here, but I really, really love this because I can stay on top of things like when I last washed my bedding, you know? All right. This page, wrong way. The yellow page right here is actually something that I'm working on. This is not, okay, let me start over. If you guys have ever taken the Myers-Briggs personality test, then you would definitely know what you are. Like, for example, my mom is an ESTJ. Those are usually the types of people who are like born leaders. In my opinion, they're just really annoying, but that's probably because I'm more introverted. So this is actually what my best friend is. She's an INFP, and I'm in a bullet journal group on Facebook, and this lady shared a post from, I think it was Psychology Junkie or something like that, and it was talking about how different personality types, according to the Myers-Briggs test, respond to stress and how you can kind of help with that. So I figured, you know, it would be nice to kind of put that in here because obviously the better I can understand my best friend, the more I can help her. You kind of get the idea. And then I also did the same thing with me. So in case you're wondering, I am INTP, which is otherwise known as the logician. So I am 68% introverted, 63% intuitive, 57% thinking, 64% prospecting, and 74% turbulent. Very, very accurate in my opinion. And then I did list the strengths and the weaknesses. So I'm not going to go over those. If you're really interested, you can just go Google it. But I also have like the stressors according to that, you know, personality type on here. These are all definitely very true. I find specifically the ones that really stress me out are people barging in on my space, that's like personal space or otherwise, and not having enough alone time, and then being required to do simple and repetitive tasks. I absolutely cannot stand that. Also, being surrounded by individuals seen as incompetent. That is definitely something I cannot stand. But, you know, it's just, to me, it's really, really kind of fun to look at this stuff. And then down here, this is kind of like what happens when I start to experience stress. So this is kind of like level 1 up here. And then as you follow the arrows down, it kind of progressively gets worse. So yeah, you can kind of see that I like to kind of pick myself apart. I think it's a lot of fun. And then this is also something new that I'm doing. Again, kind of taking inspiration from the ladies who share their amazing spreads in the bullet journal group that I'm a part of on Facebook. But this is my anxiety tracker, and this is for the month of August. So I'm actually filming this on July 30th right now, so I have not started this yet. But basically, it's pretty simple. You know, it goes from 1 to 10 with my anxiety, and it goes for 31 days. And it just says at the top, "Dear anxiety, you suck," because it's obviously true. And this is going to kind of go hand in hand with that. I actually came up with this because I got bored one day and what I did was I wanted to make a stress tracker, but I wanted a different way of kind of communicating to myself that, you know, the level of my stress. So I decided to kind of go in order of, you know, the deadliest sharks. So it starts from least deadly sharks to the deadliest. So you have lemon shark, blue shark, you can't really see it right here, but it says mako, and then black tip reef, sand tiger shark, gray reef, oceanic white tip, tiger shark, bull shark, and then the great white. So I personally love sharks, so this was right up my alley, but I'm actually going to be using this for both my stress tracker and also for my anxiety tracker, because they both go from a range of 1 to 10. So I figured it was, you know, the perfect way for me to do it. And as you can see, I have already started tracking my stress in here. And this was literally like 3 days ago. It was a level 10, so it was a great white, and it was literally just because of job shit, like, and I also have the outcome. So just date, the level, the reason, the outcome. I put it on orange paper because, you know, to me that kind of signals like, okay, you're approaching the danger zone. You know, you might want to calm yourself down. Not only that, but I had somebody who regularly comes in to work, and he was telling me that he had a minor stroke. Keep in mind, this kid is probably like 3 or 4 years younger than me. So I find that to be very, very scary. So that's also another reason why I'm trying to get my stress under control. All right. I just have a blank page right here. And the next section is just finances. Again, I have taken out anything that I do not want to share, which basically means my student loan information, how much I owe total, you know, paying it back, that kind of thing, and my completed expense tracker, spending tracker, whatever you want to call it, for the month of July. But if you want an idea of what it looks like when it's completely empty, this is it right here. So this is just for the month of August. And then this right here actually says this month's goal, or says goal for this month, whatever, in Polish. So there's that. I still also have my kind of, what is this? It's my payment tracker for rent, my credit card, student loan, and then I also track my paydays on here as well, just so that I can kind of remind myself what I'm working towards. And then this page is new as well. I don't know if you guys are a part of that group on Facebook. It's called Bullet Journal Junkies, but I actually decided to make my own student loan payment tracker, because this is probably the worst thing about being an adult and being out of college. So what I actually did was I found a picture of K2, and if you guys know anything about K2 or, you know, Mount Everest, you probably know that K2 is actually harder to climb than Mount Everest. And more people die on K2 than on Mount Everest every single year. So I know that it's going to be very hard for me to pay back my student loans. And mainly it's going to be hard because I don't want to. You know, nobody ever wants to. But I got to do it. So I decided to kind of make it a little bit more fun. So what I did was I took the total amount of my student loans and I combined it, and then I, you know, did a little bit of research, and I looked to see how many camps there actually are, or, you know, how many areas there are that people stop at when they're climbing K2. And you have base camp, and yes, I did add in the elevation of all of them. Some of them are covered up because I had to cover up the amount, but you get the idea. So I went ahead and I, like I said, entered in all of the different camps that there are. So you have base camp, camp 1, which is about 20,000 feet, camp 2, which is 22,000 feet, camp 3, camp 4. Right here you have the most dangerous part of K2, which is actually the bottleneck, the traverse, and the Serac. And then at the very top, you finally have the summit at 28,251 feet. So all I did was I divided my total for student loans, the principal, by how many there are here, which is, I think it's like 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 7 of them. So these are set amounts right here where I've covered them up with these sticky flags. And once I hit that, you know, then I can kind of like put a check mark next to it. And yeah, I'm very excited, but I did not draw this. I tried to, and I failed miserably. So I resorted to printing it out and cutting it up, and I glued it in here. So yeah, kind of like going the easy little kid route. And then on the back, this is literally just another way for me to kind of, you know, keep track of how much I'm paying and how much I have left. So if you guys didn't know, when I was in college, I actually studied finance. So that being said, that's why you're gonna see a little bit of financial jargon, not much. But right here I have the principal, and I apologize. Actually, I don't apologize for the foul language, because that is exactly how I feel. But basically all I did was I started with the very first day that I had to start making payments. I put my total amount, or the principal, right here, and then the payment. And then basically what you're gonna do from there on, if you wanna, you know, kind of do something similar to this, you know, maybe if you're paying off like a car or whatever, is you're going to deduct the payment from your principal, and then you're going to put the new principal down here. And you're basically just going to do that all the way down. So it's very, very simple. There's no reason why anybody shouldn't be able to follow that, but I just figured I would explain that to you guys because I really am in love, absolutely in love with how this turned out. I just think it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever had in my planner. Okay. Moving on to this section, it's just the yearly section. It's still the same. Yes, I'm hiding one thing from you guys, but literally still the same, just crossing out everything in washi, kind of documenting when I have my period, and these are important dates. So some of them I can't tell you about quite yet. I also have my annual to-do list, which you guys have seen. This is just broken down into months. And then right here we have my monthly. So right here I did update this. I forgot to mention that in my, what is it? My monthly plan with me video. I didn't show it to you guys because you all know that I update it every month. But this is for the month of September, and yes, that is in Polish. I still have my key right here. And I haven't changed the quote just yet because I'm still really kind of loving it. So I might actually not change it at all. And then the biggest difference is probably the fact that I don't have the page that nests in here. I went over all of this in my monthly plan with me video, so if you're really interested, you can go check that out, but I'm not going to waste time on it in this video. I also have my monthly to-do list behind that, just so that I don't forget. And then we finally get to the weekly section. So again, in my monthly section for the little calendar that I have, that's for next month. So since it's going to be August, or I guess I should say since it is August, I have September in my monthly, but because I want this one to be for August, that's actually what it is. So again, in Polish right there. Some reminders down here just for when Animal Kingdom is on, and then when I have my next appointment, next doctor's appointment. And then this is what my beautiful inserts have been looking like. Well, at least for this week. They might change, I don't really know. But I really do love this, and I apologize because I know I never explained this to you guys. I kind of just, you know, went ahead and I was like, whatever, you guys can probably pick up on this. But I still have my weather up here in the upper left-hand corner. That hasn't changed whatsoever. But I've started writing in, you know, the date up here. And then underneath that, you're going to see all these letters. So those are actually for the days of the week. Again, starting on Monday, because that's when all of my calendars start. And then, you know, just have like some space for a quote right here. I am going to start tracking my meals because apparently I don't eat enough, and when I do eat enough, it's all in one meal. So very problematic. So anyways, I'm also kind of using the hourly system. So my days tend to fluctuate depending on when I have to be at work. So it really just kind of depends on, you know, what time I have to wake up as well. So I have it going from 5 in the morning all the way to 12 or midnight. So really just kind of gives me enough time to be able to plan out everything in my day. And for the most part, I just like to plan the nitty-gritty. I won't plan like, you know, sit down and make inserts because I know I'm going to do that regardless. So as you can see, I'm kind of working with the whole arrow system, if you will. The reason why trash is actually right here is just to remind myself that that's actually when it gets picked up. I actually put this out the night before, but you know, it just, yeah, it's just a reminder to myself. These circles over here, the top ones are actually for water. So when I drink water, I drink it out of these Nalgene bottles that I've had for years and years, and they're all about 32 ounces. So if I drink 6 of them, I'm good for the day. Usually it tends to be about 5, but I'm shooting for 6. And then underneath that, you're going to see 3 circles, a slash, and then another 3 circles. These are for fruits and veggies. So I'm just really trying to make sure that I'm getting enough of those, because in the past, I've gone for periods that were way too long where I didn't have a whole lot of those, and I'm really trying to change my ways. Same thing with fitness, again, trying to change my ways. And then this is really the only spot where I allow my stamps anymore, aside from up there in the upper left-hand corner where I have my weather, you know, it's really the only area that I allow my stamps to be anymore, because I felt like it was kind of looking crazy, if you will. So anyways, right here I have my 1GT thing, which I'm bringing back because I've missed it so much. So it actually just says it in Italian. It just says si grato, which is be grateful. So there's that, and I got some pretty washi up at the top. And that's literally what all the other days look like. So I'm not going to take you guys through these because you see this every single week when I do it in my Plan With Me video. So if you're interested, you can go look that up. But I just wanted to kind of explain to you what my thought process was when I was creating these inserts. Okay, I still have my floating to-do list, which I absolutely love. These are the things that need to get done every single week, but I like it because it gives me more flexibility, so I can kind of move them around depending on when my schedule, or I'm sorry, what my schedule looks like, because my schedule tends to fluctuate. So essentially I need as much flexibility in my life as I can possibly get. This is my AN to-do list, which I have explained numerous times at this point. It just stands for as needed. So these are the things that I don't need to be doing every month, every week, or every day, but they need to get done eventually, and it all is kind of dependent upon, you know, what happens with it. So Obviously, I only need to deep clean the oven if it gets used, and half the time it doesn't because I'm always at work. So there you go. This is still my Rebel Day tracker. If you guys don't know, Rebel Day is, like, in my opinion, one of the best telenovelas to come out of Mexico. Originally it was Brazilian, but whatever. So I'm still working on this. I got quite a ways to go because there's 440 episodes total, so I got quite a ways to go. I still have not watched any of Game of Thrones. Please, for the love of cheese, do not bite my head off. I know I'm horrible when it comes to that. Because, you know, I had to just totally rewatch Breaking Bad for like the 12th time. Alright, this section is kind of miscellaneous slash actually serves a purpose, but I have a list of foods that I want to make in here. So any day where I'm kind of feeling stuck or I want to just kind of experiment a little bit, I can just go in here and kind of pick something accordingly. This is also the section where I have my weight loss tracker, which I have taken out because I'm not sharing that with you guys till the very end. I still have my top loading envelope, which I haven't found a good use for yet, so who knows. And then this is literally just a random piece of cardstock that I like to keep in here to kind of make sure all the pages don't get all scrunched under the rings. And something else that I also want to mention that I forgot to put in here is actually this, and I can't show you the entire page. I apologize because it is kind of personal, but it's just basically a page where I can write down what is stressing me out, and that way I can kind of gauge, you know, how to handle it and that kind of thing. You know, basically just trying to learn about myself and, you know, understand myself a little bit better. So anyways, I apologize because I know these videos are always so long, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maybe you got some ideas, but I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your support. I love you all, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye, guys.